Okay, that's good. Quickly, let us run through it. First of all, as I said, there'll be two main points, drive-away points. First of all, about the millets and what kind of a benefits that we have from nutritional and environmental benefits. And also, one of my friends, she's a good expert on this, Professor Gopal Kakani, an Indian fellow at the University of Florida in Gainesville. He has worked on some of these aspects of how to create some credits out of growing the millets and so forth. The other aspect of his environmental benefit is basically about water conservation. Because a lot of people in South India eat a lot of rice, they consume a lot of water for irrigation and so forth. So we'll try to quickly glance through this because it's already late in India. I don't want to take much of your time, and thanks for being here. And I know at least there are 5 or 6 people I would know it because these are tenacious people like Usha herself. They will cling on forever. If you let this conversation go till day's end, she will be there. So with that, let's go to the first slide. So there are so many types of millets, and I put some the Hindi names as well as the Telugu names here. But basically, the Bajra millet, the finger millets, foxtail, these are all very, very great type of crops, and they grow it with low water consumption. You don't have to irrigate like paddy and things like that. And so, let me go to the other one. Next slide, please. Now you can see the nutritional composition. You see the great, fantastic type of a thing. I actually, when in 1945, 44, when the Japanese are threatening to bomb Visakhapatnam coastal area, my grandfather sent us to a village. And there, I started drinking this millet porridge or even the kanji, they made out of that. It's highly proteinaceous and also energetic. You can see the pearl millet, all these are 10.6%. Anywhere between 7.3 to 11 12.3%, 12.5% of protein. And there's again calories per 100 grams is all these things, around 300 to 400 calories for this. Very nutritious, highly food. My taste was when I had some lemon juice to it and salt. And then there used to be a country vada, that they chew it with that beautiful taste, wonderful taste. So this is the way I nourished my body when I was maybe about 5 to 8 years old, type of a young boy. So today I'm proud to say I'm going to hit 90 next January 5th. I'm still able to run with young people like our Prashant Bhai. If he wants to run with me, I can run with him. No problem. Next one. Let's go to that. The next slide, yeah. I will quickly summarize these health benefits, because you can build muscles with the proteins, complex provides, carbohydrates, gives you a lot of energy, low glycemic index, those diabetes also prone to, they can consume it, so reduce their sugar. Healthy fats, these are good healthy fats, not bad ones. High fiber concentration promotes digestion, and again your gut health. And usually, you feel damn good after morning's ablution because of the fiber that you have, no constipation. Minerals and vitamins, they are rich in calcium, iron, magnesium, and vitamins, antioxidants. So a lot of tremendous benefits. A lot of people, I wondered always why the villagers are the farmers in Andhra Pradesh are so healthy, although they don't eat much, but they are sustaining themselves on these kinds of proteinaceous pulses and grains. This is one of the secrets I think which we can emulate. Now I see, even in the United States where I live here, I see in the grocery stores, in Indian grocery stores, millets and millet powders and so forth. Next one. See, these are the things I would say, as an environmentalist, I'm very much interested in this. They are drought resistant, they have a short growing period, thrive in poor soils with minimal irrigation. This is the key for me. I'm a water and sanitation person all my life, for 70 years of my life I spent in this area. And they are naturally gluten-free and rich in fiber from a health point of view. Excellent, these millets. Next one. You can see the water requirement. This to me that caught my attention way back with the millets. The water requirement for millets is 1,800 liters per kilogram of their growth, their product. Rice, look at this, almost 3 times more. And wheat in the same region, the same range as this one. This is the other important aspect of it: the greenhouse gas emissions. Being an environmentalist myself, these emissions are dangerous for us. You know, the climate change is happening, and some of the hazardous emissions are no good for our health. So here, when you grow the millets, besides water conservation, your emission rate of this carbon footprint, is 0.8. This is point carbon dioxide equivalent per kilogram of millets. That's all it takes. Rice, very high. And also the paddy fields that produce methane and nitrous oxide and so forth, these are not good. And wheat is okay, but generally rice-eating people, I'm a rice-eating person when I was young, irrigation dependence, they have to be rain-fed or less than 300 millimeters. Look at the rice consumption. They need about 1,200 to 1,500 type of millimeters of rain dependence. Then, of course, weight is moderate. Fertilizer pesticide use very low. And again, lately, farmers, they think, that applying a lot of fertilizer and also pesticide, they're going to get better crops. But the problem is we're contaminating our environment with excess use of fertilizers. And at the same time, pesticides, they are resistant with degradation, some of them. So you have to be very careful of that. Millets, particularly, consume very little, low quantity of fertilizers in comparison to that. High rice needs a lot of fertilizers. And the yield per tons of acre is 0.8 to 1.5 tons per acre. Of course, rice gives you better yield, and so are the wheat. Next one. Here again, crop duration very short. Low under drought conditions, 120, 150 days. Wheat also takes a longer time. Soil health, actually soil health improves. So the farmers have a better product and yield for the acreage that they grow on these things. Soil depletion is a little bit more in this cancer. The methane generation is also great. This wheat growth also can degrade the soil quality. The biodiversity, high diversity of many species are here. And here, rice is a very one species only. But, again, there is a problem with the genetically modified species are going to get, here again, Modi ji wants to prevent this coming from the United States and things like that. It's one of the reasons why this tariff war is going on pretty big. We don't want, India doesn't want any of these foreign type of grains, also the dairy products and things like that. So that's a good thing. We have to stand still in India against these kinds of tariffs. The climate resilience, very high resilience of the climate. And this is a low resilience for rice growth and moderate somewhat wheat crop. Next one. Look at the water footprint. Bajra, that is liters per kilogram production, you only need about 2,500 liters. As you go along, you can see the rice I'm talking about, particularly in India, wheat and rice are the major crops, 4,000 to 5,000, 1,600 to 1,800. But compared to this, these millets are relatively okay. They're pretty good. Low water consumption per liter of kilogram of yield of the crop. Next one. Look at the beef. Beef eaters and meat eaters particularly, their consumption is too much. This is not 6 liters per kilogram or 6,000. There's a printer mistake here. 15,000 liters per kilogram, 6,000 for pork, and chicken 4,000. So am I preaching to you be vegans? It'll be good for you if you do that. Vegetarian, fine. With millet rice, millets and so forth. For the people here now, a lot of my friends, local people, they're becoming vegetarians. And their children even become vegans. Why? This is one of the concerns they have about the nutrition that they receive eating beef and pork and chicken, that kind of stuff. Next one, please. Look at the emissions. Beef, pork, and poultry. Next one. These are the emissions that you look at. when you, from the agricultural soil management, these things, enteric fermentation, manure management, rice cultivation, urea fertilization, liming, field burning agricultural residues. If you don't manage the soil, growing like rice and so forth, the emissions are so high, unbelievably, in comparison with other things. Rice cultivation alone is this one here, but coupled with the poor irrigation practices in the management of soil, this is going to be very high emissions. Particularly when you apply a lot of fertilizers, like nitrates and things like that, they convert into nitrous oxide, which is very high compared to carbon dioxide. So these are the emissions. Why I'm putting that is, next slide, please. You can see the product, rice millet, go to wheat, grain, milled rice, I should say, this one. Tomatoes, all these things are emission rates here. And the nodes that produce this methane is the culprit in most instances, and nitrogen fertilizers you yield that the nitrous oxide and methane also they come out of it. This maize and corn grain, wheat grain, definitely they have low emissions for carbon dioxide per kilogram of production from agricultural feeds. Next one. This is the vegan diet. If you're a vegan, this much only you're producing, 0.8 to 0.9 kilograms per carbon dioxide equivalent. Next one. In summary, what I want to say is these millets, they use less water than rice. They emit less than beef and other meat products. Growing millets is naturally pest resistant, very low fertilizer use. You have stable yields in the drought-prone areas, particularly in India. The climate varies so much from south to north. And so these are the crops that are useful to supplement the nutrition of the poor people there. And the monetary benefit for carbon credits. This is the one thing I want to tell you a little bit. It takes a whole session to do this. Those industries that produce more emissions than acceptable, and those industries that control their emissions, they can trade. There's a certain background level that they have, let us say. This is the minimum that they tolerate. And above that, it is not good. And below that, if you produce or moderate below, you can trade with this organization, with the other industries. And there is an international meeting there in Brussels and things like that. The third party, they will evaluate you. They will check you whether your industry is producing more emissions or less emissions, and then they deal with the low emission producing folks with the high emission producing people. Before they control their emissions, they can buy carbon credits from them. That is the market price that is dealt with in the carbon exchange type of a thing. Then you can make money also. So the poor farmers that are growing millets, let's say, they produce less emissions. They can go to the high emission producing industries, and then to a third party mediation. There are organizations in India also that you can do this kind of a trading to make money if you grow millets. So my message is, although this is not directly related to some of these things, but I want you to be in good health so that you can consider these things and implement them, particularly innovation. And like Prashant Bhai is talking about CSR and things like that, you can go ahead and use these kinds of instruments also to make some money for the industries. Like I met you, Professor Chandralekar, a long time ago. I met your son. A lot of good health for you, because we need people like you. So eat millets and produce good, live a century, and beyond that, I will hit a century, guaranteed. You and I should meet again. So I pray for your good health and also make money out of growing millets. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is just a message for me. I'm sure you will not have any questions, because I'm not here to suggest how to make money or get money. I need money too. As I told you earlier in the discussion, I had a question. When this morning, when Chitturi Ratnangaru was presenting his paper, I said he's getting six times matching. I'm a Rotarian. those of you who really want to make good projects and get money, maybe Prashant Bhai can tell you about how you can make by joining Rotary. And that's what I've been operating. You go and check my LinkedIn profile, and I have not asked any money so far, anybody. But now, because I wanted to leave some legacy in my hometown in Vijayanagaram, Andhra Pradesh. I've been in this country for almost 63 years. So it's time to give back to my country here and to my country that I left. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to put my own heart and savings. Boris Bhai is listening to this, $200,000. I'm looking for matching funds to do something in my own town. I'm going to build a autism center because there's a lot of children. I understand they are seeing a lot of autistic children growth. My doctor friends were telling me. So that is one of the passion I have, children's education. Raj Gopal is a good friend of mine, so I will see how that application, that app that he has, can promote the education of the kids that are going to a music and dance school for 4 to 15 hours. I'm supporting in Vijayanagar. There's good kids, poor kids. So I have a lot of common things with these people here, but I don't have that much time. How much time the good Lord is going to give, I don't know. I'm celebrating my 90th birthday on January 5th. So if you want to donate some money, I'm here to take it. And say it like Professor, Chandrak, and also my lady friend always smiles, Susha, and people like that.
No.
And
Thank you, Prakasham ji.